So is it fair to say that this model isn't really about cash flow, but in terms of helping the community, obviously assisting investors, teaching them kind of how you can do this, really the benefit for you is that you've actually got an asset that long term is growing in value because you've got the housing association paying you a rent, the cash flow you dedicate to paying down the debt, whether it be investors or mortgages or commercial finance, but then the asset at the end remains with the company.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And I think that's important for our investors to know that we make some money and have that long-term security, because we're going to be here tomorrow and the year after and year 10 plus. The capital growth is fantastic because it gives us a choice as to whether we pay down more debt or whether we actually reinvest in this model. And the hope is that when we house people who come out of prison or they effectively have notice stay, we're also saving local government money, because those people would end up in bed and breakfasts at the cost of £260+ in this area, so probably more in London and other areas, but in this area £260 per week, and we can give those people accommodation for a quarter of that at least. So it helps local government as well. So in all areas it's kind of a model that we think works really well, but the point being the choice we'll have long term with that capital growth is to either invest more in this model, or actually we may take some money out and then treat ourselves at some point in the future too.
And what's the future of this model? I mean, you're very much sort of looking, you've got HMOs, where it's shared communal space. You've got HMO pluses, where it's very much self-contained accommodation, and very much the focus is kind of getting people back to work. What's next?
What we have through our current model is the ability to help people who want to get jobs. And that kind of presupposes that those people have some vocational skills already or have an education. Therefore, many of the people we come across we can't help currently other than give them a house. So the exciting thing we have now is we've got a property which is a local pub here, which has got accommodation upstairs that will convert to the self-contained units, and then downstairs we'll use the retail space to basically generate employment skills. So we'll give people the opportunity to get their vocational skills up, whether it's waiting on tables or whether it's a basic business skill about how you make money as a business and become an employable individual. So that'll become our incubation ground for giving people the skills they need to then move on and get a job elsewhere, ideally within a 9 to 12 month frame. But the point being is let's create jobs and let's create opportunities for people, as well as giving them those skill sets to move on and enjoy the rest of their life. So that's what we're really excited about now. And we've just acquired a property in Digbeth that is spot on for doing this.
So that's kind of the big picture for the company. Now, in terms of, say, Dave and Greg, your property journey, this really is the main focus, isn't it? Or do you have, is there anything else that you want to kind of achieve in property outside of New Leaf Living?
Well, my whole point of leaving the corporate world was to spend more time with family and friends, so I'm really conscious to do that. So I dedicate my time to New Leaf Living. Outside of that, I do coach people. I help people on the mastermind program because I got great value from that coaching personally. And I have private clients I help. I'm on the board of a charity to help them grow as a business. But actually, I'm getting back to spending time with friends and family that I didn't do for quite some time. So I'm enjoying that, and I have no aspirations in the property world other than this great program we're involved with and just personal development stuff as well.
Yeah, I guess I'm really similar. So I left the corporate world not to create another job. So my own portfolio kind of runs itself. I have very little to do with that. I want to see New Leaf Living achieve what I know it can. And I think the pub that we're buying now should be the first of many. I think that model is fantastic, and the number of pubs which are closing every week means that there's a great opportunity for us to do that. Outside of that, I also coach other property investors because I find that keeps me on my toes. And one of my great values is inspiration. So if I can inspire somebody and they can inspire me, that's great. And I was really fortunate recently to share some airtime with the chief executive of YMCA for Coventry and Warwickshire, and that really opened my mind up to what can I do with younger people, 15 to 18 year olds typically, to maybe inspire them or give them some motivation so that ultimately they don't become clients of New Leaf Living, because that's the risk factor for them, is they get to that point and they're kind of thrown out into the big wide world and they haven't always got the support systems around them, they haven't got the right mindset around them. So I think once we've got the pub model and the commercial model working for New Leaf Living, I think my time will probably move towards that. And I've also gone back to doing some of the things I love. So I play golf every week with Greg and some of the people I used to have to go to work with. They now take time off work. I don't. And so yeah, it's about making sure I use my time not just for other people but for me as well. I think that's really important.
What about you, Dan? Do you still have aspirations in property outside New Leaf Living?
I genuinely have a passion for refurbishment and development. So while New Leaf Living is very much the focus of my activity in work time, and I think the guys have very clearly identified that we are in a very fortunate position where we can enjoy some leisure now. My work is divided very much into New Leaf Living as the focus, but I also do have a passion, as I say, for development, for refurbishment, and I'm propagating a few of those projects exactly at the moment.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. You're watching the interview with Dave, Greg and Dan from New Leaf Living. This is Property Investor News. My name's Kelly Lemon and thank you for watching.